Hi guys, what's good? Happy Saturday. Hope you guys are having great weekend wherever you are. In today's vlog, I want to talk about human brains. The human brain is so complex that if you don't pay attention to it, you might be going forth and back in the hospital. But once you know this hack on human brains, then you can understand how your own brain works. Okay, I'm just going to sketch something on this wall. I'm not really good at drawing, but I want to make some illustration. Let's say okay, let's say this is the human brain. I'm not really good at drawing, but I'm going to try. Let's say this is the human brain. Each day, either you go out of your house or you stay at home to do something, to go to work, or you are at home working from home, or you are at home doing nothing. Human brain is always stuffed with stuff. There will always be stuff in your brain. It could be family issues, work issues, health issues, travel issues, relation issues, society issues, any kind of issues. Human brain is always occupied with something. And when those things that are occupied in human brains are so much that there is not even a space for the brain to breathe. You know what the brain will do? The brain will try and empty itself of those things that are occupied in it. It will try and delete some. And when it deletes it, sometimes it doesn't delete it forever. It sheds the stuff out of the brain to somewhere close to the brain anyway. And when it sheds it out of the brain to somewhere close to the brain, once there's a little this is not coming off. Once there's a little space for the brain to breathe, or maybe some of the stuff in the brain is being sorted out by you, or is being figured out, then most of those things that the brain has shedded out of itself, so that there can be some space to breathe or some vacant in there for the brain. Then the brain will try and recollect it back to itself. It will try and recollect it back to itself. Once the brain is, before I forget this, once the brain is full and there's no more space, and the brain tries to shed some stuff out of itself outside of the brain to a space nearby the brain, empty space, vacant space nearby the brain. That is when you tend to forget some things, or you try to remember some things, no matter how try, no matter how hard you try, you don't remember those things. That is as a result of those things you are trying to remember is no more in your brain. The brain has shed it out of your brain, out of your brain. And when you have figured out some things out of the brain and the brain is a bit empty, or there's a little kind of space in the brain and the brain can breathe a little bit, then those things the brain has shedded out, the brain will take it back to itself, to this little space that is vacant in there. So those shedded things that the brain has collected back to itself, this is when what you've been trying so hard to remember at a point then comes to you without even trying, without it will come to you consciously or unconsciously. You will just remember, that you say, oh, I tried to remember this thing at this so point, but I couldn't figure it out, I couldn't remember. It's not you doing that, it's the brain. The brain is like a human itself. It does what it's best suitable and profitable to him, to itself, to stay healthy. This is how the brain works. So once the brain collected those shedded stuff, it shedded out earlier back to the little empty space in there, then you remember those things you were trying to remember, you were trying so hard to remember previously, you remember them all. So this is what I'm going to say. This is how human brain works. So I'm just going to implore I'm going to implore everyone that always try so hard. So I'm just going to implore everyone. I know it's sometimes it's kind of not easy to make your make your make your brain less occupied with stuff, because everyone go through stuff every day, either the positive ones or the negative ones. Everyone go through stuffs, but I'm just going to try and always do healthy exercises that improve your brain that makes your brain healthy and put your brain in a good condition. Stay out of worry. Yeah, this is so important. Stay out of worry. Eat so healthy. Eat healthy food. Eat food that benefits your body and your brain. If you have stuff bothering you, try your best to figure out how to get the stuff out of your brain. If it's an issue you need to sort out, get it fixed. You can do it. You know, we've all got it. We've all got this willpower. Get it sorted out so that your brain can breathe, so that there can be empty spaces in your brain to breathe. And always try and do what makes you happy. Sometimes when you're happy, it makes your brain breathe, and it creates space in the brain. Try and do things that makes you happy. Go to places, make friends, enter a relationship that makes you happy. And when you try so hard that you cannot remember stuff, don't force it. Once your brain is a bit empty or empty, those stuff you cannot remember will shed back those stuff you cannot remember was shedded out from the brain itself, so that it can breathe, so that it can stay holding. And once your brain is empty, like empty, or there's a little space in your brain, those shedded stuff out of the brain will come back into the brain. The brain will bring it back up there. The brain might not bring all back. Yeah, the brain might not bring all back. It may be a gradual process. If the space in the brain is not much to contain all those stuff that it has shaded out, the brain might not bring all back. The brain might bring back little out of it, but with time, little by little, the brain will bring it, it all back once there is space in the brain to contain the shaded stuff out. And in most cases, even if there's much space in the brain or a bit space in the brain, it might just bring little part of it back into the brain, and the rest of it shaded it out completely forever. And that is when, no matter how hard you try, weeks, days, weeks, months, year, you cannot remember. That means the brain didn't bring all back. It just bring part of it back into the empty space, or into the empty space, be it little empty space or huge empty space in the brain, for it to contain back the shaded stuff it shaded away when it was full. It will not, sometimes it bring all back, and sometimes it may not bring all back. So when you cannot remember all, don't beat yourself to it. And most time it's not medical issues. Just stay relaxed, stay calm, and stay out of worry. Figure out those stuff in your brain bothering or worrying you. Figure them out. If the brain brings it back, good. If the ones wouldn't bring back forever, or for a short while before it gets back into the brain, if that's happened, good as well. But you need to stay healthy brain wise. Stay out of worry. Eat so healthy. Do exercises that benefits your body and the brain. Get stuff bothering you sorted out quickly as possible as you can. So this is all what I've got to say in this video. Thanks for always watching my video. Have a great day.